How did you get started with music?
When I was about 11 years old and living with my mom and sister in a small town near Barcelona. There was a guitar lying in a corner of the apartment that belonged to my sister, but it was more of a decorative object because my sister didn't play it at all. So, at the school where I studied, there was a guy who brought his amp, an electric guitar, and started playing heavy metal anthems like Kings of Metal by Manowar, Hell's Bells by AC/DC, and Back in Black. Those are some of the songs I remember. So after listening to that guy, after school, I would grab my sister's guitar and start messing around with it. And that's how it all started. A year later, I finally bought my first electric guitar after working at my aunt's shop during the summer months in Madrid. At the time, I was a huge fan of Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne, Helloween, Manowar, Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth, AC/DC, and many other bands like that. There wasn't an easy way to learn like there is today with the internet and YouTube, so we exchanged ideas with friends, or simply tried to replicate some song rhythm. I also listened to some Spanish bands like Barón Rojo and Sangre Azul, but I always ended up listening to more English or American music.
What other musical genres did you have to explore to be able to turn your passion for music into a job?
In addition to listening to all kinds of hard rock, heavy metal, and even blues for many years, I discovered other styles and realized that being a musician was something much broader than just playing a few musical genres. If I wanted to make a living from music, I had to learn to play a little bit of everything, even some things that might not be my favorites. That was the best decision for me, since I needed to play live, and although it's hard to say, metal probably wasn't the most requested music for shows in the places where I had the chance to perform. So I understood that I needed to be versatile to get work as a musician, and I adapted to achieve it.
What impact did living in different countries from a young age have on your career?
I think what really helped me become a musical nomad all these years was that I was able to speak different languages and communicate with different people from all over the world. I think if I hadn't known English, coming to the US would have been much more difficult, but I was already a singer in Spain, and 95% of my repertoire was already in English. So that was definitely an advantage for starting over. Living in Switzerland was also a great experience, and I would never have achieved what I did if I hadn't spoken the language. Communication is a big factor in all of this. It definitely helps.
In what year and with what professional expectations did you move to the US?
I arrived in the United States in 2003 to see where destiny would take me, and luckily, I joined a band just 2 weeks after arriving. 7 months, with whom I recorded the second album, In Time. We played progressive metal and played in many clubs in Los Angeles and nearby towns. They asked me to stay in the band as they liked my voice very much, so I stayed and we started playing some shows like Palmdale or Acton, Pasadena, Simi Valley. And we ended up playing also at the B.B. King's Club in Los Angeles at the Universal City area in 2005. I finished recording the vocals for album In Time, which had very good critics in all the online websites of that genre, which is the progressive metal. The band previously had an album with a different singer, and I had to learn all the songs from the first album, including some covers from Kansas Jefferson, Starship, Whitesnake, and I even recorded a song by Journey, which was the first recording with it together. The guys from the band 7 Months were extremely well trained, as most of them went to the Musicians Institute in Hollywood. In 2005, I got into complications with my voice due to an incident that happened with another person who almost took my life and left severe injuries in my throat. I had to stop singing for a year, and still was a long road to recover, but I never gave up. In fact, when I started my solo career, the name of my first album was inspired by this, and I called it Never Give Up. I didn't know if I was able to sing again, but I continued to achieve my goals and my dreams.
I see you wanting someone new. The need that's in your eyes is one that I still recognize.
What are your favorite songs to play live from the albums you released?
I have 3 albums recorded with producer Paul Sabu. The first, Never Give Up, had very good reviews. Songs like Hellrider, Roadrunner, Running Away, Hammer Down, and Light Up My Life have very catchy choruses. Excellent guitars by Thorsten Kohn, Eden's Curse, Sunstorm, Demon Drive, Eric Ragnow on keyboards, Trickster, Paul Stanley, Jimmy Jamison, and Pete Nudek on drums, Grim Reaper, Paul Di'Anno, and Eden's Curse. The second album is a bit special, and I really like it, although I have to admit I didn't write any songs on this one. That's why it's called Under the Influence. These are songs I would play randomly if I was on tour. If there was one song I would play every day from that album, it would be Binded, which was written by Paul Sabu and also recorded on his Banshee album. But I have an arsenal of guitar shredders on It All, known for being in bands like Winger, Talisman. Striper is the amazing Howie Simon. Then Gary Schutt also played with Jeff Scott Soto. Tommy Lafferty from The Fire, Crown of Thorns, Jean Beauvoir. Chris Rizzola, founding member of Steelheart. Dennis Churchill Dries, who's one of my favorite singers, best known for his work in Tattoo Rodeo and White Sister. My last record, it's called Can't Stop the Rock, and was released in April this year. It contains 12 songs. I composed most of the songs with Paul Sabu, except the song Can't Stop the Rock that was co-written with Paul Sabu and Frankie Banali, Quiet Riot, ASP Billy Idol. Lincoln Anderson, Tony Mills, Secret Society, Methods of Mayhem recorded all the lead guitars. Paul Sabu did all the back vocals and rhythm guitars. My friend JC Vaz on keyboard, Kent Blankenship on drums, Barry Sparks on bass, UFO, Vinnie Moore, Yingui, Mitchell Schenker. In November last year, I flew with JC to Los Angeles to do a video for one of the songs of the album Rich Woman that was directed by Eric Boadella. I called some of my Los Angeles friends to appear in the video, like Nolan Richards, who's actually playing drums for Marco Mendoza right now on tour in Europe. The amazing Ivy Ferguson, a rock diva, was being previously featured also on one of the Bullet Boys music vids. Ofer Holan, an amazing guitar virtuoso, who was available to play the role of the bass player for my video. And then my good old friend Barry Magnuson, who used to play drums in 7 Months, and also the 3-piece band Ella Holshot that we had, who played the role of the cop in the video. And amazingly, my good friend Bob Belfiore, who came from Naples to see how we did, he was asked to be featured at the end of the video as well, in the private jet scene. Very happy with the results of the video. Eric Boadella is well known for making music videos for most of the bands at Frontiers Records, and he actually released a short movie with Danny Trejo that was released last week. It's called Magic Meat, which Paul is also featured on the music soundtrack.
Do you have any other activities besides music?
I try to maintain a good physical activity routine to take care of my image and stay healthy. Right now, I don't have much time since I have shows every day. It's a mini tour of continuous shows that I've been doing for a while now, and although what I play in those shows isn't always rock, I'm very happy with it. It gives me a lot of satisfaction and keeps me constantly moving. However, I fully intend to be part of a rock band as soon as the opportunity arises.
How would you organize yourself right now if, in addition to this continuous tour you're telling me about, the chance to join a new band arose?
Of course, the band would be a top priority. I would commit to the project, give it my all, and I know it will be wonderful. I adapt very quickly to everything.
She promised me heaven, only time will tell. I hope she ain't lying, sin is easy to sell. I got my reservation and I hope he ain't lies. I'm taking it.
What's the most incredible or strange thing that's happened to you in your career?
One of the most amazing and wonderful things that happened to me in my career was that the song, Can't Stop the Rock, was written by Paul Sabu and was initially intended for my album, but was eventually released for Quiet Riot on their album 10, with Jizzy Pearl on vocals. Then Paul gave me the song to complete the album, and I have to say it's one of my favorites. I say it's both strange and wonderful, because it's a band I've always loved, and knowing that musicians I admire have chosen the same song as me for their album is a huge thing for me. One of the most incredible things that has happened to me in life is that I was able to meet most of my idols and even work with them at some point. I can say it's incredible to have achieved that here in the United States, and that I'm still doing it.
Thanks, Danny Veras, for sharing more about your career in this interview.
Here is Danny Veras' discography, Can't Stop the Rock, released in 2025 with Rock Company Records. Under the Influence, self-released in 2018 with DVR Records. Never Give Up, released in 2014 with DVR Records. 7 Month in Time, 2009, self-release. Follow Danny Veras at dannyveras.com.